A planned meeting between U.S. President Donald Trump and senior leadership of the Democratic Party fell apart today. The two sides were supposed to discuss federal infrastructure spending, but the president walked out of the meeting. This comes as the Democrats begin a serious discussion about targeting Trump for impeachment. And the CBC's Lindsay Duncombe is at the White House. So, Lindsay, what happened?
Well, let's start at the very beginning. There was a lot of tension brewing this morning because Nancy Pelosi, the House Speaker, the top Democrat, was meeting with her caucus. And she was meeting with them because there was pressure growing for the Democrats to do more when it comes to investigating the president. In fact, there's a lot of Democrats who say they think it's time to move to an impeachment process. And that's because the White House is stonewalling any kinds of investigations related to the aftermath of the Mueller report. They're not letting people appear in front of Congress. They're taking subpoenas and going to court. And after that meeting, Nancy Pelosi walked out to the cameras and she said this.
It's important to follow the facts. We believe that no one is above the law, including the President of the United States. And we believe that the President of the United States is engaged in a cover-up.
Okay, so that set off the president, and he was already pretty angry. He was tweeting all morning about the Mueller investigation being a witch hunt controlled by Democrats who just wouldn't let it go. The meeting here at the White House was supposed to be about infrastructure. It was long planned. It did not last very long, less than 5 minutes. Trump walked in, and then he walked out, headed straight to the cameras, and said this.
Instead of walking in happily into a meeting, I walk in to look at people that had just said that I was doing a cover-up. I don't do cover-ups. You people know that probably better than anybody.
Okay, so then the drama continues because Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, they go back to the Hill. They hold their own news conference. They say all they wanted to do was talk about infrastructure, that these are separate issues. And here's more from Nancy Pelosi.
He just took a pass, and it just makes me wonder why he did that. In any event, I pray for the President of the United States, and I pray for the United States of America.
You know, Lindsay, when she said that, it made me kind of wonder, why is she saying that? When you say something like that, it's usually if someone is sick or someone is in deep trouble. What do you think all of this means?
Well, Nancy Pelosi is trying to make a contrast of the behavior of this president, Donald Trump, walking in front of the camera, ranting and raving, to other presidents. In fact, she brought up Jefferson in her speech. This is political theater, too. This is Nancy Pelosi trying to contrast what the Democrats want to offer to what they're seeing play out in the White House, saying that they are, all policy all the time, which isn't necessarily true because they're in this whole impeachment debate as well. What this boils down to, though, is that any hope of cooperation on infrastructure is out the window. There's also consequences for an issue that affects Canada, because the other thing that Congress needs to do is ratify the new trade agreement now that the steel tariffs are gone. In this context, it's hard to imagine that the Democrats want to give Donald Trump anything looking like a win, and they do have concerns about the agreement, especially as it pertains to labor. So this is an escalation, and what everyone is waiting to do now is what is Nancy Pelosi going to do in terms of that pressure, in terms of the investigations into the president coming out of the Mueller report.
Lindsay, thank you. The CBC's Lindsay Duncombe in Washington.